I
mean,
know.
I've got the disc version. No, I don't have a digital version. I have a digital game, but I have a disc PS5. I haven't had an
Yeah.
issue yet. I've had it crash like twice, but not like this common.
Yeah, it's just I'm hoping it's just a bizarre coincidence that it's happened 2 weeks in a row, because it's never happened before last week ever, not once. But I mean, I've got the digital. My PS5 is a digital version, so you can't have the discs.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's bizarre, very strange. But we're gonna have two streams tonight. We've got one stream which is a sprint race, and I checked it, and you can hear me as it's cutting off, like just going, "Oh, why is my game crashed?"
Oh man.
This is.
I assume it's because it's track limits, but now this battle between GGJ and Janssen. Oh no, my game's crashed again.
Yes, that.
Again.
My game's crashed again. Yeah, I just saw it. It was like a big freeze. Like it wasn't sudden. It was like a freeze which lasted about 5 seconds.
It doesn't like blue screen or anything. It just takes like 10 seconds in the same position.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, this is definitely happening again. I'd hoped for like a second that it might have been my TV, but
yeah,
no, no, sadly not. Right, we're obviously they will be able to hear us after this, but they can't hear us at the moment. We're not actually live, but obviously it's being recorded. So I'm just going to quickly change the title and start up a new stream, and then we should be good to go. Thumbnails in place, titles are in place. Right, let's share that. You weren't here last week, were you, for Hungry? Hello, Max.
sorry.
Oh, why does it keep doing this? Ah, it's because the stream's private, that's why.
What happened with the screen
GGJ and Vincent were having a good battle, to be fair.
Oh, Vincent's back.
Yeah. For tonight, I don't know whether he's going to be racing full time. Hopefully he is, because he gives GGJ a good run. Bennett, because he's not permanent anymore, he's a reserve.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He can't make every race.
Okay.
One of the new drivers has left the server already because we're stopping and starting.
Oh, lovely.
I know. Oh wait, hold on. No, he joined back. He joined back. It's fine. Okay, never mind. It must have been an accident. Right then, we're going to come in. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go racing here for the Belgian Grand Prix at Motive. We had a sprint race which was cut off near the end because of my PlayStation, or rather my game, crashing. But I'm joined in the box, luckily, by my good friend in the box here, which is Max GT. Max, welcome.
Good evening. It's been a while since we've been on the grid, but 5 lights here ahead of a Spa Grand Prix.
And here we go. You can hear the engine revs rising now. Oh, GGJ did not get a good start, and Bennett absolutely flew off the line. He's already leading here, coming down towards last source. So Bennett LCFC flying there as he took off, but Martin there getting around the outside of Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt here potentially is going to lose out to a few drivers. Dems Becky's got ahead of both of them up into 4th place. What a start from him. Costa's made up a couple of places, but Dems Becky here losing out actually to Martin here, coming up towards El Rouge. But it's GGJ leading ahead of Bennett and Vincent Janssen. What happened to him?
I know, that was shocking. Oh my god. Where is Vincent?
He's out of the race.
He's He's on race.
What is going on there?
I recognise the gap in the spots on the grid, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. But GGJ's already passed Bennett. Bennett got past him on the start finish straight because GGJ had a shocking start, but he's already ahead. Bennett's already in P2 and GGJ's up into the lead again. So really good racing from those.
In the meantime, Crazy Max and Sean were just having a battle there going into Brussels, and Crazy Max has come out on top of that one. Currently running in P7. Stiff Meister's got ahead of Polish My Balls. That's because Polish My Balls is off the track. He's had a spin there, he's on the grass, so he's had a bit of a moment. Unfortunate there for him, he's down to the foot of the pack. Well, obviously, with Janssen being out of the race, we've only got 16 drivers in the session, but GGJ currently leading ahead of Bennett. Bennett is our only hope, really, is somebody taking the fight to him, or maybe Little Greavy can put his hat in the mix. Oh, Little Greavy spun it as I say that, coming out of campus, and he's going to be dropping down the order like a stone right here. Little Greavy there with a rookie error.
Matty Pitt as well has had a moment, he spun round, so maybe it's a collision between the two. Although they are quite far apart, I don't know what's happened there.
Yeah, I think they were independent of each other.
Well. Yeah, the tyres are going to be burning up there, and Little Greavy spun again. So his rear tyre is going to be on fire when he gets the car going, so it's even more likely to have a spin. But after the first lap, GGJ in front, from Bennett, from Dobesbecky, from the McLaren, a 2-4 from McLaren at the moment. Crazy Max in P5, getting ahead of the guy Sean in P6. Kostas in P7, Vigreeve, the teammate of the spinner in the Haas P8, P9, V10 Ultra, and Magpie completing the top 10.
Yeah, currently Bennett's still keeping GGJ on his toes at the moment. There's not really much separating them, but GGJ, I think, had the pace in the sprint race, but we know that over a course of a race distance, Bennett can make his tyres last. GGJ was also very good at harvesting his ERS battery, but this time around, he's used nearly 50% of it. Bennett, though, has used 60% of his, so he's not really in a great position either. But Demsbecky, running in third place, has got a lot more ERS to use than the front two have, but he's over 2 seconds behind him at the moment. He's gapping Martin at this point, though. McGree quite close to the back of Costas, but just a little bit too far back going into Lacombe. There's a battle also going on between Jill Silver and Stiffmeister right now, which is currently, you can see Stiffmeister within 0.2 of a second. There's a few drivers on the hard tyres, there's one driver on the softs, that's Crazy Max. Crazy Max has obviously gone for a fast starting strategy here, but that will cost him in the last part of the race, where he'll probably have to put the hards on, I would imagine, if we don't get a safety car. But everybody else really on the medium tyres, apart from the Grieve, V10 Ultra, Stiffmeister, Little Greavy and Matty Pitt. So the vast majority of the drivers here tonight sticking the mediums on, which are probably the best, I'd say the best for the first stint, because they're a solid option for pace, and they get you a fair way into the stint.
Crazy Max is out!
Oh no!
Crazy Max is spun on the curb and he's out. He hit the wall and he's out. So that is definitely a safety car. That's a safety car.
Doesn't appear to be.
But it's not yet. But there's a car on the track almost with a wheel off. So
yeah, I think
that's not
Max, what you were expecting there, you were expecting logic from the EA Sports F1 game. And you see, that's the mistake that you've made.
That is a big mistake from my part.
Yeah.
Apologies.
These things, you cannot make these assumptions. You really can't, because they never turn out to be the case. When you expect common sense from an F1 game, that's when you know you're going to be disappointed.
The illusion keeps kicking in.
Absolutely.
I think Martin and the McLaren behind them, Specky was closing in on him. I think he's dropped off a little bit here, but Specky's trying to claw onto the back of Bennett. He's gapped him by 1.4, I think the gap is right now. Just outside of DRS, but Martin is like 3 seconds behind Specky at the moment, so not really a chance of a McLaren double podium at the moment, as Stiffmeister's to the end of lap 3.
Well, Magpie making a move down the inside. Yeah, good move there from him. You're really quiet, Max, by the way, just so you know. I don't know. You're really quiet. Your mic's really quiet. I don't know.
Is this better?
Yeah, it's a bit better.
Yeah, I moved it away from the mic because normally like pops when I say certain syllables. But yeah, I moved it away. But now this should be fixed.
Yeah, it's a bit better. But yeah, GGJ currently opened a bit of a gap here over Bennett. You can see now a second and a half between them. Demsbecky is pulling up onto the back of Bennett here, and these two obviously used to be teammates back when they were both permanent drivers here during this season. They're now reserves. Demsbecky's managed to get a seat in his old team Ferrari, but Bennett's had to go for a McLaren here tonight. Bennett's driven, I think, half of the cars on the grid here this season. I think the only driver that's driven more cars this season than Bennett is Matty Pitt, I would say. I've seen him in a Ferrari, I've seen him in an Aston, I've seen him in a Mercedes. I think I've seen him, I can't remember if I've seen him in an Alpine as well, maybe, possibly. I can't remember actually, I don't know. There's a few different cars I've seen him in, but yeah, Matty Pitt likes to collect them, and Bennett, I think, He's been in a Ferrari, a McLaren, and I think was he in Alpha at one point as well? I can't remember. Austria maybe? I can't remember now.
Yeah, not sure.
Or Mercedes, I think he was in it at Austria.
Yeah, definitely not too caught up on the motive history at the moment. There's clearly something I need to work on. Yeah, I think
Dennis Becky nonetheless has got a heck of a run here on Bennett coming down the Camel Straight. This is surely going to be job done here for him. He's way too close for Bennett to be able to realistically hold on, but Bennett somehow has managed to keep himself there. Dennis Becky round the outside gets it done up into P2. Now can he chase after his old rival GGJ? We know there's a little bit of history between those two, but that'll be an interesting one if we see that start to come about. But Magpie's got ahead of Costas up into P6, and Polish My Balls out of the race here, so we're down to 14 runners.
Yeah, I don't know what happened now. I think he retired in the pits, Polish My Balls. But yeah, very good move from Dennis Becky. Bennett didn't want to fight it too much, so he just pulled onto the racing line before even the corner came up. So he didn't want to fight it too much. Maybe Bennett will use the DRS of Dennis Becky to lure him onto GGJ, because maybe he knows that Dennis Becky is going to be quicker throughout the whole race, really. So Bennett's going to be holding onto the DRS if he can stay within it, which is at the moment he's just about outside, just about. But yeah, as I was saying, there's a little bit of a train forming from P6 down to about P10. I think this could be a good battle as it plays out. Obviously it'll ebb and flow as cars start fighting. But yeah, it's actually good seeing a train form and maybe a little bit competitive racing.
Definitely so. There's plenty going on at this point. Bennett's still sticking within a second of Dennis Becky, but that gap's now just creeping above that 1 second barrier. So Dennis Becky's now looking to try and chase down GGJ. I've noticed here Dennis Becky has closed in on GGJ, and he just did the fastest lap there, 47.3. So he's currently the fastest man on track, and with a bit of clear air here now, he can really focus on that Red Bull. It's going to be exciting to see these two rekindling their rivalry, because I don't like seeing GGJ run off. I like GGJ, but I don't like to see him run off and get easy victories. I like to see him challenged.
What is the fun in that? We want to see battles at the front. This is what we come here for
every
Friday night. And yeah, I think we are going to see this tonight. So everyone, keep tuning.
Definitely so. But currently, this is your man who's leading the championship, and he's got a healthy lead at the top of the standings as well. He's got about 100 points, I think, over his nearest challenger. Obviously, because he's been so consistent, and he's also turned up to every race, I think, barring one, which was, if I remember correctly, I think it was Miami that he missed. So he's pretty much, he's been there in every race. He's always on the podium or close to the podium. I can't think of a race he hasn't been on the podium, actually. If I think about it properly, I don't think he's ever been off for the podium in races that he's been in. So yeah, he's been almost a perfect record this season from GGJ. Yeah, I really don't think he has been off the podium. So yeah, when you take that all into account, the fact that he's got a 100-point lead, it really is no surprise. But Dennis Becky's obviously making his return tonight. He's been away for a few races. He makes sporadic appearances here and there, but when he's here and on his day, he's definitely capable of mixing it up and potentially being unbeatable. Costas has had a spin here coming on the Exeter campus. Yeah, don't know what's happened there to him, but he must have lost it on the curve, I would imagine. He's lost a load of places here.
He doesn't have any damage, so that's definitely a bonus for Costas. But yeah, I thought Dennis Becky was going to get the DRS there down the back straight, heading into the left-hander there. I don't know the corner names of Spa, but yeah, heading into the flat left-hander. I thought he would have got the DRS because he was within 1 second, but it's gone back up to 1.5. I don't know where his strengths are. Maybe Dennis Becky's gone for a higher downforce setup, maybe because he was really gaining in the middle sector there and towards the last, where really the corners are concentrated. So maybe he's gone for a higher downforce setup for just more grip and the confidence throughout the medium to high speed corners. But GJ, I think, is quick and straight up the line. So let's see how this plays out throughout the race and where advantages are played.
Definitely, so it's going to be a good mix-up between the two, but I'm currently watching V10 Ultra. He's closing up onto the back of Jill Silver in here down the Camel Straight. He's just going to get there a little bit too late though, I think. But yeah, Jill Silver in, obviously racing as a reserve tonight. He was racing in the early part of the season as a permanent driver in the McLaren, but he's not able to make all the races, but good to see him back out on track, races with us on ACC in Tier 2 for the GT3 Championship on a Sunday night. And he's currently doing a good job here of keeping V10 Ultra. He's one of our newish drivers to the league, joined a couple of rounds ago at Silverstone, and he's currently trying to knock on the door of a couple more points here in this race. These two are the only drivers who are within a second of each other at the moment, and you can see V10 Ultra's just trying to maybe just psych him out a little bit, trying to put him under a bit of pressure. All goes very late on the brakes there coming into Campus, but Jill Silverman currently not really showing any signs of being too distracted at this point, as into Stavolo they go, and you can see Jill Silverman's just sticking to his lines at the moment. He's not really being too phased by that Ferrari in his rearview mirrors, and yeah, just doing a good job here at keeping himself cool as they're coming through into the final sector. Let's go trackside here as they come through Blanchimont, as V10 Ultra's going to go for a bit of a run here. He's going to look to the outside, he's going to go to the inside here as the gap is forming, and V10 Ultra here is going to look, but Gio Silva goes late enough on the brakes to hold on. Does he go deep, and does it allow V10 Ultra to get the cut back out of the bus stop chicane? I think he might be able to, as DRS here for the Ferrari down the start finish straight, which is not going to pay any dividends, down to the fact that he didn't get a good exit out of the bus stop, and this is allowing Genis to get closer to these guys in the background. But V10 Ultra for the time being has to tuck in.
He's going to wait for the DRS detection zone, which comes up just about now. So he's going to have V10 Ultra DRS at the top of Eau Rouge. As he gets a penalty, he cut the corner way too much there. He goes off the white lines. But so did Jules Silverman actually.
Is he going to get the move done though?
He's going to enable ERS, he's going to enable DRS as well. The car head is flashing, it's going to pull to the outside and gets moved on. But here comes Genis as well behind him. Will he make 2 in 1? No, he can't. He tries for the outside of Jules Silverman, and he's going to make this move. That's a really nice move from Genis there. So very, very good. Opportunist move there, taking the squabble of these two and getting a position out. It's really good from Genis and Williams.
Yeah, Jill Silverman's going to be fuming with that because he lost a couple of places in the space of 2 corners, so that's not going to be ideal, but nonetheless still in a good position, still in a points paying position, which will, I'm sure, be yeah, I'm sure we'll be happy with that after considering that it's a substitute appearance tonight. But currently we go back to the leader GGJ because he's got a 2.5 second lead. Oh, what's happened?
Yeah, Sean is round.
Oh no!
But Aston Martin, he got on the curb. The curbs here are so annoying. You either have to fully commit or just don't touch him at all. But he was in the middle. He just about, brushed the curb on the inside of the. Again, I don't know who's spelled corners of the chicane, but yeah, spun around, and yeah, that's really disappointing. He was on for a good race there, P6 I think that was, but now he's P10 lost. Points paying position, but I think he can claw us back. He had good pace so far. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, still a long way to go left in this race. Obviously, there could be safety cars, there could be differing strategies as well, so it's going to be one to watch there. Obviously trying to come back through, but Jill Silverman's kept on to the back of Genis. Obviously Genis was able to get ahead of him after V10 Ultra made the move on Jill Silverman. V10 Ultra's now cleared off up the road. He's now over a second clear of these two squabbling pair, but Jill Silverman definitely within striking distance here. If he can get a good run here through Eau Rouge and Radion, he'll definitely have a chance down the Kemmel Straight with the DRS. As we watch the Mercedes here on board going up through Radion, you can see the gap's just about half a second, just under, between Genis and Jill Silverman. I think he's going to be a little bit too far away. Genis actually managed to sneak within the second barrier of V10 Ultra. Didn't manage to get DRS though, but Jill Silverman just a little bit too far back into the Coombe, and he goes very deep there as well, which is going to cost him time, and he's going to be outside of that second barrier there to Genis, and Sean's going to be closing in on him as well here, running in P10 at the moment.
Yeah, that was very, very close. That's a tense up for that one. Jill Silverman almost ploughing straight into the back of the Williams. Outbroke himself there, but not much harm done. He's clearly quicker than Genis, but he just needs to pick, reel it in, just keep a calm head and see where he can get past. Apparently not into that bit when you're braking like that, but yeah, hopefully he can reel it in and pick an appropriate place to get past.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we can see Little Greavy's pulling up onto the back of Costas here. You can see half a second between them. Little Greavy had those spins earlier on, which really dropped him down the order. He's got the pace around this track. We saw in qualifying, and we saw in also the sprint race as well, that he's no slouch around Spa, but really disappointing on that first lap to have those incidents, and he's currently putting up onto the back of Costas here to try and get a bit of damage limitation here in this race. As we can see him coming into the final sector at the moment, but Little Greavy just knocking on the door here of this position. Costas has just been kind of doing his own thing in this race. Little Greavy now looking to the outside. Costas is going to try and defend the inside line, coming into the bus stop chicane. Now he reverts back to the racing line, and Little Greavy nowhere to go, has to wait and watch and just plan his next move here as Genis into the pits at the end of lap 8. But here we come down the start finish straight. Little Greavy with DRS here. Is he going to make the move into La Source? He's too far back coming into La Source. He's going to have to wait until they get around to the Kemmel Straight for to potentially make this manoeuvre into the final points paying position now with Genis coming into the pits. But here we go. Costa's currently just keeping sort of a hair in front of him at this point. Up through Radion we go, and now he's going to have DRS here, and surely Little Greavy's going to get him. This is going to be easy.
Yeah, that's easy pickings for Little Greavy. Up into the points again. As I was just watching this battle, I had one eye on Grieve and the Magpie battle. Similar situation really. But Grieve was just on the back of Magpie, trying to claw back into that. Well, overtaking danger, striking zone, whatever they call it now. Yeah, but nothing he could do right now. Obviously, the Grieve has quite a big pace advantage, I think. Well, they're quite even, but one thing I noticed as well is Magpie is in mediums and Grieve's on hards. So this could be where the mediums have dropped off. And as we saw in Genis, they're on hard tyres. So
he's picked up a penalty there for cutting the inside of Stapolo.
Yeah, he's got a penalty. That's going to harm him. But yeah, Genis was on mediums. Now they've went to hards. So and that's because of the pits. So let's see what he does. He's on the mediums now. It's probably going to be hards.
Yeah, it's got to be the hards. But yeah, Magpie. I mean, to be fair, he's a good driver on the F1 game. He's in the pits as well, coming into the pits here and ended up 9. But yeah, Magpie is definitely a contender when he's a regular driver and can get the practice in. He was actually quite a forgotten fact here. Was probably the driver to get closest to Jelma during Jelma's championship years. He took the season 3 title to I think the penultimate round. Jelma only managed to wrap it up with 1 round to spare, which is quite a surprise because in other seasons he's done it with 3 or 4 rounds to spare. But in season 3, yeah, it went down to Jeddah, and I remember that Magpie still had a chance going into that round. So he's probably the one who was able to put Jelma under the most pressure during his championship seasons, during his 3 different championship seasons. He definitely had a chance. That one was not a foregone conclusion. That was still kind of open until we got to near the end of the season. And at points he led that championship as well. So and it's quite often the forgotten man.
Yeah, that is clearly something if you're going to go against the esports driver and lead the championship and bring the battle to a penultimate race. That's something.
I mean, to be fair, Jelma did do everything he could to throw it away, but that's not the point.
Yeah, that's besides the point. What do you mean?
He's lost it. He's lost it coming out of campus. He's got damage as well. An end plate, I think, flying off the car there. Yeah, the left front end plate there going flying off. Oh no.
It could possibly be a VSC because that winglet I see is on the track, so drivers are going to be warned about that and be told to just go a little bit wide to just avoid that. But Joe Silverman is all over Green as he's going to be obviously affected by that damage a lot. He's going to have a decrease in downforce, which will obviously help in the straights because less downforce means more top speed. As GGJ comes in the pits and the guy Sean is going to go round the outside here. This could be a good move as he has completed it. And the Grieve, a teammate of Look for Grieve, is just about to come to the rear of him as well as he goes off the track. Grieve, he just doesn't have enough downforce, so I think the Grieve is just going to come off the frontal as he goes really deep. The Grieve, so
he hits his teammate.
He said, "Can he go back to the pits?" That's going to be dodgy. I knew that was.
He's been DQ'd.
He's retired. Yeah.
Was he DQ'd for going the wrong way?
No, I don't think that it'd be that quick. I knew that something was going to happen. I knew Look really had to let off just to let the Greek come into the pits.
Of all the people that could have been coming round at that moment, I think that was probably the worst case scenario. His brother and his teammate. Yeah.
That's really disappointing. But yeah. On to the next one. Not the end of the world.
Exactly.
Up and keep going. Anything can happen in motive, as I've learned, all the drivers have learned, and the commentators.
Magpie in the meantime making a move down the inside of Genis into Lacombe, and he's got that one done up into 8th place, and that looked like he had a rocket ship in comparison to the other Williams there. So, he's lost it on the X corner. No. Oh, Magpie, come on. He reset as well. That's a reset. So that's a slam dunk DQ there.
DQ.
Yeah, Matty Pitt is going ham on these what's it called?
And he has to be the one coming onto the scene just as he does it.
I know.
Magpie is gonna have red ears for that, but
yeah, he might be about to waste the next 20 minutes of his life if he's not listening to the stream. But oh well.
Yeah. Slam dunk DQ is a bit harsh for a reason.
It is a bit harsh, but Matty Pitt really does hate it. I mean, I remember back when back in the day. before Matty was the league coordinator for the F1 league, he used to mention it to me every time he'd see someone reset. It'd be like to me, "Oh, you can't be letting this happen. You can't be allowing this. It's ridiculous."
It's definitely a big disadvantage for people behind you, because suddenly you have a car in your way and it's going to throw you off. It's going to lose your positions, time, especially on like a qualifying lap as well. That's going to kill your lap. But yeah, in the race, when you're on full focus trying to get into a rhythm and then that happens, not ideal. As yeah, it should be allowed, but a DQ I think is a bit harsh. Maybe it needs to be rethinked, but yeah, I'm not the coordinator, so I'll leave it up to them.
Yeah, I think it sets a precedent, doesn't it? I mean, if you've got too many people doing it, then it's...
Yeah, I mean, it has definitely been a common occurrence I've seen throughout league racing, and especially in this league as well. People like to reset the track. I know it's very annoying for drivers behind them.
In the meantime, we've got Jill Silverman looking all over the back of V10 Ultra as they came into the Coombe, but couldn't quite get there in time, and he's going to have to just tuck in and wait for his opportunity here, but he's going to look into Brussels. Here we go, he's going to look down the inside. Surely he's going to be able to make this move as V10 Ultra turns into the corner and squeezes him to the onto the grass there, and Jill Silverman's just going to have to wait a bit longer here, but these two both on fresh tyres, and they're rekindling the battle they had earlier on. They seem to be quite evenly matched here, despite the fact that V10 Ultra is now on the mediums and Jill Silverman on the hards. So Jill Silverman seems to have picked up the pace since putting the hards on, which is really bizarre. But he looks to the outside into Campus. V10 Ultra covering the inside line off and holds on for the time being. Maybe the hards are just, well, actually, no, to be fair, but Jill Silverman's been on his tyres a lot longer, so maybe his tyres are just that little bit warmer, and potentially now V10 Ultra will start to pull away now that he's got his tyres up to temperature.
Yeah, definitely. Good racing between the two so far. You can see the bridge, like the gap in pace between these two. Hard tyres, old hard tyres compared to new softer tyres. I think Peter's just come out of pits. So obviously his tyres are going to be really, really cold, whereas Jill Silverman is going to have much warmer tread-in tyres. So he's going to have all the grip in the world compared to the cold, softer tyres. But I think V10 is definitely disappeared with this one. But he's going to hold on to DRS, Jill Silverman, as the Greavy comes into the pits. And subsequently pits the mediums on. So he went from harsh to mediums, little Greavy. As GGJ is out front, currently with a penalty-less race so far. On the hards, on the final stint of a race, love and life. So,
he is.
Not much from the norm.
And obviously with Demsbecky having a 3-second penalty as well as Bennett, it means that his closest potential challengers are not really in the battle at all. So even if Demsbecky were to start getting the laps down, and he'd have to average about 3/10 a lap quicker to be on the back of GGJ by the end. But even then, he has that penalty. So unless GGJ managed to get that penalty as well, I think that he's pretty much got this in the bag.
Sorry to butt in, but on the exit of the right-hander, I don't know the corner name as well. On the right-hander, I think GGJ went a little bit wide there, so I think if I check the race director, I can check warnings, and lap 13, yes, a warning. So that is his first warning. GGJ 2 more and he gets a penalty. So let's keep that to a minimum, GGJ, shall we? And I can comfort you win.
Well, if Demsbecky starts to close the gap, that could put the pressure on GGJ and maybe just force him into a couple of mistakes, yeah. So Demsbecky, he wasn't in the gap was a bit more, wasn't it, before? I think it was well, it's been staying around the same, hasn't it? It's been 3 seconds now for a while.
Yeah, from 3.5 to 3 seconds. As the Greavy gets past Matty Pitt, what's happened there? Yeah, they've very in a battle. So Matty Pitt has lost the position of Little Greavy as we go through a last little chicane. I know that corner, who doesn't? But on to the main straight as Matty Pitt cuts a corner massively. Cuts to curve, should I say, he did cut a corner. But yeah, Little Greavy is drove into the sunset in that one, as V10 Ultra I see is on the back of Genis. So let's see, on the DRS, so he's going to have DRS at the top of Eau Rouge as we fly through the left, into the right, and into the left, to the top of the hill, massive incline change. I don't think he has the pace to get past this lap. But definitely it's going to help him get closer if he can keep it for a duration of a lap. He can be even quicker. As Magpie says, the quickest lap and the fastest lap on medium tyres down in P13. So obviously I think he's pitted again, maybe to keep away the faster lap from GGJ and help everyone else, or you just loving life, enjoying life, fresh a set of tyres to go to the end.
Maybe he just hosted as another safety car.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I could play into.
It's not going to benefit his way. It's not going to benefit him at all because he's too far behind to even get ahead of Costas, who's in P12.
We don't talk about that. Yeah, but safety car would not be ideal for GGJ, and the people have just pitted as well, because that means everyone's going to be on an equal, if not better, playing field compared to the front runners. So they're going to be praying not for a safety car, but those in need, such as Magfire and maybe the back runners as well, they're going to be on a safety car right now. But so far, it looks like the game is being absolutely refusing to bring out one. So I think the front runners are in luck today.
Yeah, and the thing is, my settings got them on. It's always had them on reduced. The reason why is because I don't want them to be coming out for every little thing. But reduced usually allows them to come out for stone wall safety cars, like if somebody's parked in the track or, has hit a wall.
Or sometimes if a minor thing happens. What race was it where literally nothing happened, but out comes a safety car?
It was might have been. Yeah, there was one race where they were coming out for everything. Monaco, obviously, the game has this little thing which means it doesn't come out because obviously it would be coming out every lap otherwise. But yeah, I think it was. And one race where we had a lot of them was also Baku. We had I think 4 or 5 at Baku, but those were needed. Those were necessary.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it depends. You were racing at Baku, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember anything.
We got used to race at Baku because we were down on numbers. I think we started with 14 drivers, and by the end we had 6.
Yeah, it was not a good idea to do. Yeah, any race on Baku is going to end up with very minimal numbers.
Baku's worse than Monaco. I've found in my experience on this game, it's generally worse.
There's much more because you think the walls are very far apart, but they're not. So you're in your zone, you just don't pay attention. Suddenly you've lost the wing, you lost downforce, then suddenly you're in a wall. Unless Monaco, where you're in full focus because the walls are right beside you, you're in full focus mode, and you don't hit the wall. But Baku, you can relax a little bit because you think it's a normal track, and then that's longer as well, so it means more opportunity to kill your car. But I think it's definitely more likely to have Baku with less participants at the end than Monaco.
That actually makes a lot of sense, actually, because, like you say, you're on your guard all the time at Monaco. You're always kind of like aware of that impending danger, aren't you? Going around any part of Monaco. But it's difficult for me to know because I haven't played the game. I don't really play the game much. I drove a career mode with my friend. We got about 7 rounds in, and then basically stopped doing it. So I don't really have much experience on this game. I can't really speak for the driving point of view. I can sort of give you a history of what's happened over the seasons, but generally, it's always good to have you here, Max, because you understand the game. You've played it plenty of times. As we see, V10 Ultra going to get a bit close to Genis, but can't make the move still on the Williams. Sorry, mate.
I've just quickly checked my hours. I've got 350 hours in the game, so it's not like I'm not. It's not like
some of those were commentating though.
Yeah, some of us commentating. Quite a lot were commentating. And spectating as well, like spectating. But yeah, definitely I think Baku as well was one of those tracks where like, oh, okay, I've just hit the wall, what have I done? I check, you have minor damage, and suddenly you hit the wall again, you get quite severe damage, and then suddenly you have no wing, and suddenly you have no car to race with. So I think it's definitely like a domino effect in Baku.
The only way around this is to just not hit the wall in the first place, basically.
Yeah, we can never see it coming.
Yeah, pretty much. It's it's a chain reaction, isn't it? Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. I'm just glad that I've never raced on Baku because I think that I would probably smash my TV or my wheel, or something bad would happen. I just know that for sure.
I am so shocked about my wheel and TV are like still intact because the amount of times I could have like detached my very slow Thrustmaster detach system. I could have detached my wheel, thrown it out the window, and also thrown something at my TV. But I haven't, so
Well, it's good. Because ultimately, I don't think that it costs quite a bit, so it's going to be a frustration.
Yeah. Oh, no, here we go. But V10 Ultra's gone down the inside of Genis, and that's let little Greedy through. That is parted the seas like Moses there. But here we go, it's a freeway battle through Eau Rouge.
Oh no, that was a rookie manoeuvre.
V10
What are you doing,
Ultra.
V10 Ultra? You can't go side by side through Eau Rouge. And Genis there continues on his merry way. V10 Ultra, who was at fault for that one? It's difficult to really say because they both were just balls to the wall, weren't they? Neither of them was going to give an inch. And
it's a racing incident.
it's a racing incident, yeah.
Yeah, V10 doesn't want to back out because you know you've just been passed by 2 people and you're like, come on now, I want this place back. And yeah, through Eau Rouge, no one wants to give up, and eventually, because of F122's shocking physics system, one has to go round. So yeah, it probably wouldn't happen in real life. Maybe a little bit of a side pod come off, but at worst. But no, someone has to go round.
Well, I tell you what, Genis can count himself lucky because he's been able to carry on like nothing happened there. And considering he just had a pretty sufficient amount of contact going into Eau Rouge flat out up the hill, I'd say that he's done quite well out of this. But he might have a bit of damage here because he is falling off a Little Greavy at quite a rate. Little Greavy is still on the back of Stiffmeister right here, as we can see these guys coming in towards the final sector. But Little Greavy very wide there, all over the AstroTurf there on the outside of the curb. He's still trying to put this pressure here on Stiffmeister, as we've got about 4 laps left to go in this race here as we come around to finish this lap, or rather 5 laps for them actually. But Stiffmeister there defending into the bus stop chicane. Little Greavy will get DRS down the start, finish straight. He's going to get a good exit here. He's going to get him here. He's going to get him quite easily before we even get to the DRS zone. And Little Greavy makes his way up into 5th place there, routinely.
Yeah, Stiffmeister had a massive moment on the exit there. Caused it really to have all the impotence he needs to just breeze past in a straight, but Stiffmeister is going to have DRS on top of Eau Rouge this time because Little Greavy's going to be in front. Now Stiffmeister has DRS.
He's not close enough. Nowhere near.
Yeah, he's not going to be close enough.
Matty Pitt's coming to the pits for an extracurricular pit stop here. Yeah, not sure why.
Is he on the softs? Yes, he's on the Red Bull softs. So fastest lap it is. Anyone?
I reckon
Magpie's round. Magpie's round on the exit of turn 1 there, and he's met Matty Pitt. They're facing each other basically on the exit of the pit exit even, shall I say. Yeah, but Magpie not having the best of races. Obviously it could be worse, he could be out of the race, but yeah, fortunately he's still in the race, still going, still at it. So yeah, great commitment from the Dutch person, I think.
Yeah.
He is Dutch, isn't he? Yeah.
He is. I think he definitely is. Yeah, I think that Magfire, GGJ, Little Greavy, and Grieve, I think both are as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we're basically like we're almost like a Dutch league. We're like half Dutch, half English, or half British, should I say?
That's literally how the leagues are made up. Even in like
it's a British and Dutch league.
Dutch.
Is it?
Yeah, honestly, there's so many Dutch people. It's like,
well, you find that like British communities and Dutch communities get on because basically in the Netherlands they all speak English. It's taught in like schools and everything. So every single person from the Netherlands that I know speaks English really well.
Yes, I said this to like Yoma and on the Red Mass all the time. Like, how do you know what? Like, I'm so confused. Like,
but they're taught it from a young age, aren't they?
Yeah, like they're like it's like drilled into them because the Netherlands, as Stiffmeister's round again, as I'm watching on board, it's like a very just open country really to English people.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just means that.
Oh, he's been disqualified, Stiffmeister, for driving the wrong way.
Ouch!
No,
that's not good. He tried to enter this. That could cause a safe. No, it's too late in the race. That can't be a safeguard. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's an open country to like tourists and stuff, and they all have to know English because English is the largest spoken country language in the world. But even so,
and it's just over the sea as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's about 40 miles.
Much. Yeah. And I just even though it's like the largest speaking language in the world, it's like wow, you can like swear in our language, you can talk in our language, you can understand perfectly.
Similar culture as well.
Yeah, full-blown conversation in English. I'm like, wow, I cannot imagine myself speaking Dutch, so kudos to you.
Mate, I spent, this is so embarrassing, I spent 5 years learning German and I can't even speak a sentence in it.
Oh, no way.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely embarrassing. I don't even know what I was doing, it's just all gone from my head. I don't know if I ever could. But now it's just, I would not have a clue. I can understand it spoken to some extent, but I can't speak it to save my life. No chance.
Obviously, in the moment you're doing it, because I'm doing French GCSE right now, and it's just like, I can speak it fluently, but When I get older, probably not. It'll go, but yeah. Did you do it for GCSE? I'm guessing.
I did German GCSE, yeah, but never did any exchange trip or anything like that on my part
I
of it.
haven't been on the school trip in my secondary school lifetime.
No, I've never been to Germany. Never once.
Really?
Never been to Germany. I honestly don't know why I don't know what I was doing the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I was doing.
Banter.
Yeah. It must have been going in one ear and out of the other. I just don't know.
Exactly.
I just really don't know what I was doing in school.
Yeah. Anyway, come back to racing, shall we? Because has gone round, the partner of Stiffmeister has gone round to the exit of the Dust chicane. Just similarly to his teammate Stiffmeister. Seems to be a common occurrence in that Alfa Romeo. Maybe it's got some sort of spinning device, something like that. But yeah, that guy's Sean on the back of Vita Ultra on the top of Eau Rouge. What can he do on the top of? Well, I've said that twice. on the straight, as Vita Ultra comes to the inside of that guy Sean, he's getting a break later than V10, but not enough to complete the move, as he probably would have gone a little bit too deep. So we have to back out that one. On to the next lap. Sean, you can get him. I believe in you. He's probably going to get DRS again if he can just keep within 1 second and have another go. So he just needs to keep within 1 second.
Definitely so, but can he do it? That'll be the question here over the last 2 laps of this race, as GGJ's got a gap of over 8 seconds now over Demsbecky, so he's definitely the... Oh, pardon me, that was a hiccup. He's definitely the paciest driver tonight as GGJ, there's no doubt about that. He's been in control of things. There's been points where Demsbecky's been matching him, but I think that GGJ has been holding back at times, and I think when he's unleashed his full potential, I don't think there's anyone out there who can live with him around this Spa-Francorchamps circuit here tonight for this Belgian Grand Prix. I think that he's had it covered pretty much from the word go. And Demsbecky also with his 3-second time penalty will lose out a bit of time here. Bennett's coming to the pits for new soft tyres here, so that's interesting. Now he's going to go for fastest lap. Yeah. No doubt in my mind who's going to be getting that extra point now. Yeah, exactly. No doubt.
Yeah. He's desperate for it. He wants every point from GGJ taken from him as possible. Demsbecky, not really competition at this moment in time, as warned. Lap 21 or 22. The penultimate lap of the Spa Grand Prix, Belgian Grand Prix should I say. About 9 seconds behind him with an extra penalty. How much is that penalty? 3 seconds. So not much competition. But P2 is very solid. They've come back to... Did he take a break, Demsbecky, or am I just making it up?
I wouldn't say a break. There's been he's pulled out of the championship, then he's missed a round or two, then he comes back and does a race, then he's missed a couple, then he's come back and joined another one. So
he's been intermittent.
Yeah, he's never been gone. Yeah, he's never been gone for like a long period. It's always been.
He's been in the shadows.
Yeah. He's always around, definitely. He races the tracks that he likes, so he raced Austria, he's back here tonight at Spa. I don't know what other tracks he likes that are coming up on the calendar, but yeah, he's here and there whenever it kind of suits him, which is fair enough, you know, if he's taking a risk of missing out if we've got a full lobby. But we haven't had a full lobby in terms of regular drivers now for quite some time, so it's likely that you're always going to get a chance if you want one. But yeah, it's good to see him back out on track, as you say, you know, stepping up to the plate. Really impressively.
P2 as well. Yeah, very solid from P2 as well. Taking a little bit of a break, not really a break, but just in the shadows. Yeah, P2 very solid. Bennett there, P3 with a McLaren 3rd and 4th.
Do you know what I think Demsbecky's doing? I think he's just trying to lower our expectations of him. Doesn't want us to expect much, so he wants to jump in as a reserve and make us sing his praises.
And I remind you of Commentator's curse.
Yeah, well, he wants us to sing his praises. No, he wants us to say, look at this is unbelievable. He's come in as a late standing and he's finished in P2. You know. Yeah.
He's just charging up. So it's just a practice round.
Yeah.
He's going to be absolutely flying. He's going to have... Trying to find a car that's dominant. The W11. He's going to have a W11 to under it. It's literally just a body kit, you know. It's a W11 but it has a Ferrari casing. Yeah, it's just charging up ready for the next round.
Definitely, we've got so we've got to go back to our leader because GGJ is coming to the final few corners here at Spa for this Belgian Grand Prix tonight. Season 5 here at Motive on the F1 game. He's coming into the bus stop now, and it's been quite a dominant win in the end from GGJ. Didn't have a big lead for the whole race, but he's been just gradually stepping it up, and he's coming over the line to take the victory here at Spa tonight. Fantastic job from GGJ. He was just a little bit too good for Demspecki tonight. Demspecki's going to come over to take second place and loses another 3 seconds with his time penalty there, so finishes 12 seconds behind GGJ in the end. He's well clear of Bennett, who put the soft tyres on at the end. The gap wouldn't have been much otherwise, but Bennett here into the bus stop. I think there's some level of inevitability about who's going to get the fastest lap here as he comes up towards the line. And indeed, yes, 45 dead, almost in the 44s there for Bennett, so close, but nonetheless, we'll get the extra point as long as nobody else has gone and done the same thing. Martin coming out of the bus stop, going to be P4 for him. He's a little way ahead of Little Greavy, but a good result from Martin, 12 championship points. I'm sure he'll take that. Little Greavy coming out of the bus stop up towards the line. It's going to be P5 for him. He's a few seconds clear of Jenis, who'll come over to take 6th in the end, just ahead of Jill Silverin, who's got 9 seconds worth of penalties, so he wouldn't have been a threat to Jenis anyway. Sean coming into the bus stop here, few seconds clear of V10 Ultra. Oh, and Magpie's looking to the inside of V10 Ultra into the bus stop, and he gets the move done there, does Magpie, but V10 Ultra's not giving it up, pushes him a little bit wide as he's ghosting there on the exit, but Magpie manages to get the position. Sean finishes in 8th ahead of Magpie, who actually gets ahead of Sean on the classification. Magpie and V10 Ultra having an awesome battle there at the end. It got a little bit heated, but Magpie 8th, Sean 9th, V10 Ultra 10th, Costa's over in 11th, and Matty Pitt will be the last driver to finish the race here as he's coming through the bus stop. It's going to be a 12th place here for him, and yeah, not the race that he would have wanted, I'm sure. But that is that for tonight's racing here at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix here tonight at Motive. And I want to say a big congratulations to our race winner GGJ for dominating that one.
Yeah, really solid drive from GGJ. As always, as we've seen throughout the season, definitely, I think, Andy, he could be a contender for this championship, you know. I think he's come back from the shadows, and I think he might be a contender, you know.
What, Demspecki, really? Really? I don't think this season. Yeah. Not this season. Maybe next season. Not this season.
I'm talking about GGJ.
Oh, GGJ. No, I mean,
yeah,
I mean,
might be.
Yeah, I think he has a chance. Yeah, he has a little bit of chance. Yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah. But
yeah, definitely really solid. Really solid from GGJ. Clinical, no mistakes. Absolutely, just bashing it out. And yeah, solid race from. Of the Grieve, I think it was Grieve, covering off his brother's mistake actually in his teammate, finishing P5, I think it was. So yeah, oh no, it is Luke Greavy. Sorry, my apologies. In P5, covering off his brother's mistake in the other Haas, the Grieve. So very good, solid race from him. I think Jenis as well gave us plenty of entertainment throughout the race. Very good racing between. I think it was him. Was it Costas? Might have been Magfire as well. I can't really remember.
But up 9 places for Jenis. I mean, he had a scrappy sprint race, ended up having to pull out of the race and left the session at one point. So, you know, he's done a fantastic job to pick himself back up. And yeah, 15th to 6th. That's an incredible drive. But I've got to say, with no safety cars in the mix, GGJ was over a minute ahead of the driver in 7th place. So that just goes to show, you know, when it's all about pace and there's no silly business going on. GGJ, Demspecki, Bennett as well would have been closer to them if it wasn't for his pit stop. You know, those guys are in another league, and it's going to take some catching.
Yeah, definitely. I think the people in the factory need to look where they've gone wrong. Need a heads and book session. Need to see where they're going wrong to try and bridge the gap. But yeah, really solid season from GGJ, and one of the most dominant probably since the reign of Jelmer.
Season 2, Jelmer, I think. Well, actually, no, even that season, because Jelmer was behind at the first half of season 2, and then went on a run of he won about 9 out of 10 races in a row. But the first part of that season, he was behind, so I think he wrapped it up with 5 rounds to spare. But if he hadn't have had that bad run at the start, he would have probably wrapped it up halfway through the season. I mean, it was insane. But yeah.
Guys, different gravy, but yeah, really good race, and very high standard of racing as per usual it's been throughout the majority of the season. Yeah, I think it's been a pleasure to have me. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Yes, indeed, it has, Max. I was meant to say, I should have said, but yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Join us next week. We'll be live at the same time as usual for the F1 League. That will be at whatever track's next in a season, which is, as I'm just buying a bit of time whilst I look for it. There's Stanford. Okay, home race to GTJ. Right, that'll be interesting. Home race for a lot of the drivers here.
Yeah, for a lot of the drivers, it's going to be a home Grand Prix. All going to be, you know, getting that extra motivation from the home crowd in the stands all across. Surely that's got to be an extra few tenths a lap. Surely.
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that we're playing a video game, I think it would be. But I think that familiarity maybe, because I'll tell you one thing: Silverstone, I know the track on the back of my hand because I always drove Silverstone because it's Britain. You know, I'm a Brit. I've got to drive my own home track and get good at it. And I think it's the same for all the Dutch drivers as well. So they'll be bringing it. They'll be bringing the smoke next week. But anyway, I suppose it's been a cool little debrief. We should do this more often. Usually we cut off quite quickly.
We really
This is just a complete improv here. We did not actually plan this at all.
I started a conversation, now it's just gone. So I think it's very fun to do this and shit more. But yeah, thank you for watching everyone, and we'll see you next week. Have a good evening.
Bye.